Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now today's first story comes from a throwaway account and it says, "My husband wants me to quit my job. Now we have children and he makes enough money. I love my work and the thought of being a housewife is torture to me. If I don't quit, he's leaving me." For anonymity, I can't go into details, but my husband, 34 male, has developed something in IT that's well known, and it's made him rich. I, 38 female, am a chef, and I make 1/100th of what he does. It doesn't matter for me, however, because I love my job. We have a great life together. We had our first child, a baby girl, 3 years ago, and our twin boys are 9 months old. I have a few months left on my maternity leave, and with our country closing up again, this was 2022 by the way, because of the new Omicron variant, I started getting worried that my workplace won't take me back. I voiced my worries to my husband a couple of days ago. He just shrugged and said it's not like we needed the money. I was confused and told him that I knew that it wasn't about the money. He just shrugged. I was a bit annoyed, to be honest, because I thought he didn't think it a big deal that I become out of work. Yesterday, I was still thinking about it, so I decided to talk to him again. He was confused and told me that I should instead be happy that I could spend more time with my babies. And he asked me why I insisted on working when we have 3 small children and he made enough money for the both of us. He didn't like me working 4 to 5 evenings a week, including 1 to 2 weekends a month. I told him that I love my job and that I'm good at it. I've been doing it for almost 20 years now, and that just the thought of not doing anything for the rest of my life is suffocating. He was visibly upset by then and accused me of loving my job more than my babies and him. I could always cook at home for the family, and if I was worried I would lose my independence, he could transfer the same amount I earned from my job to my private account monthly. I started crying, and he kissed and hugged me and told me that he loved me, but he's been thinking of this since our girl was born, and he didn't like me coming home late at night. So I need to choose between my job or being a family. I was startled. Did he mean it as an ultimatum? He did. He actually wants me to be a housewife or we go our separate ways. I went to my mum's place first thing this morning. She listened to me talking and crying, but when I finished, she wasn't indignant on my behalf like I expected. She was silent for a while, and then she asked me to think carefully about my next move. If we got divorced, I need to think about my babies. I will never be able to give them the life their dad is giving them, and I might lose them because of it. Is it worth it to change their lives so drastically and have them live in 2 separate houses? All that for a job. I've worked my whole adult life, and I could just see this as an early retirement. Many dreamed of this. Why couldn't I enjoy it? I wasn't expecting my mum saying these things. She has always been this strong, independent woman who raised us to be independent and taught me to never rely 100% on anyone other than myself. Hearing her say all that made me question my feelings. Before I met her, I was totally sure I was right being hurt and angry. And now I think maybe I'm overreacting and that my husband's request wasn't that unreasonable. But if that's the case, why do I feel like my heart is swollen in my throat? Why does it feel like he's made this ultimatum because he knew he has power and he's using it? Throw any suggestion or advice my way, and please be honest. Not rude, honest, because I feel like I'm wronged here, and I'm having a hard time thinking from my husband's perspective. A deleted user said to the OP, "Hi, I'm a stay-at-home mum. I gave up a career I enjoyed years ago because I was asked to. Financial and emotional abuse due to alcoholism have brought my marriage to an end. Now I'm just fucked. No career, no prospects, nothing. I suggest working part-time, even a couple of days a week or something, just so you have something to fall back on. I wouldn't give up the time I got in the early years with my kids, but now even though I've left him, I'm still completely financially dependent. It's not a great feeling for either of us at this point. Ask him if he'd be cool with you working a couple of days a week, just to give you something to get out of the house and do." Shay Bridgeman says it's not smart to end up dependent on someone. That's how people get stranded in unhealthy situations. Being a stay-at-home parent isn't for everyone. Many people like you enjoy their careers. If he's truly given you an ultimatum, then I guess you walk. No one should be forced to stay at home with the kids. I'm sorry your mum wasn't supportive at all. OP says, my mum's reaction caught me off guard, to be honest. She's always the independent kind of person and always proud of my career. I don't know why she isn't doing this now. A Flair says, it's a tough situation. Before having kids, did you discuss being a stay-at-home mum? I'm shocked by his ultimatum. I had a friend that was in your situation. She had always worked and her husband wanted her to stay at home after the baby. She wasn't happy. A second baby didn't help either. She was miserable. Didn't understand why and thought all women dreamed of being a stay-at-home mum. She had a nice home, new car, healthy kids. She should be happy. She finally took some college classes and started feeling better. Women are more than mothers and wives. Many need to work or do other things to feel happy and productive. There is nothing wrong wanting to work. It certainly doesn't mean you don't love your family. Would he be willing to compromise to let you work part-time or in a year? Brig Blue says, I think anyone that gives their SO an ultimatum like this has serious control issues. You're allowed to have your own life and be a spouse/mother. I'm sorry your mum didn't support you in your legitimate emotions. It sounds like a ploy to control to me. Only dictators give ultimatums. I'd leave because if you give in on this, then that is setting a very bad precedent. OP responded to that saying, this is one of the things I've been pondering. If he can make an ultimatum once, what will stop him from doing it again? I'm shocked by my mum's reaction. I thought she would say, bring your kids in suitcase and come live with me. And for me, I don't think there's any compromise on this at all. This is clearly just controlling behavior. Telling your partner it's his way or no way, that's just controlling. And your mum's response to this is disappointing in itself, especially when you said, she's taught you to be independent and all this kind of thing. And now it seems to be about think of what you might lose, whilst completely ignoring what you'd be sacrificing. Your identity, your independence, your mental health. And if your husband truly respected you and just wanted more family time, more time with you, he'd be looking at compromises himself, not making demands like he is. And I was wondering myself after this one, how much would she actually be losing? I know it depends on location, how long they've been married, prenups, etc. But if she is married, surely she could be entitled to X amount anyway. And again, I know that's sort of very open-ended. But a couple of weeks later, OP comes in with their update and says, so I have posted here about 2 weeks ago about my husband not wanting me to go back to work after maternity leave. I got a lot of real good advice. I just want to clarify some things about my post that many seem to have misinterpreted. I'm sorry my language wasn't very clear. I don't work 4 to 5 days plus weekends. I work 35 to 45 hours a week in total, and sometimes it's during the weekend. Stay-at-home mum isn't normal in my country. Daycare is free and we don't have a nanny. I'm saying this because I want you to understand why I was taken aback about this whole situation. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to stay-at-home mums. He can't get sole custody just because of his wealth, or because of my work hours. It doesn't work like this here. Thank God. But I'm thankful for those who expressed worry about that because I know this is the sad reality in other parts of the world. So to the update. I had long talks with my husband about all of what happened, trying to understand his point of view. I've told him that I can't see myself as a housewife, ever, but that I'm willing to start looking for jobs with better hours, or that I can finally start my own restaurant. I could start searching for a location in office buildings and start a lunch spot so then I don't need to work evenings and weekends. He didn't seem happy at all with that suggestion. He asked me why I'm so insistent on going back to work. He said these last months have been the happiest of his life, coming home from work every day to his family, and that he thought I'm happy too. I am. I love being with my babies all day, but just because I'm enjoying my maternity leave, it doesn't mean I don't want to go back to work. In fact, I'm enjoying every minute now because I know it's not permanent. We had a row. He said he's always felt that I'm scared of him making much more money, and that I'm scared of being dependent on him. So if I'm insisting on working because I don't want to be dependent, he could pay me 10 times what I earn to stay at home. I started crying and told him I'm not going to be a housewife and I don't accept ultimatums, so he should do what he felt fit. He said he's tired of going around feeling that his wife is intimidated by his success. He's doing this for the both of us. I have to admit that I'm sometimes scared of him having more power than me. He said it's all in my head, but really, would he ever dare to ask me to quit my job if he didn't feel he had power to do it? Could I ask him to quit his job with that same ease? There's no denying the power dynamics in our relationship, and I have all the right to be scared of it. So there's no progress really, and no matter how much I explain myself, he doesn't seem to understand me. And probably he feels the same way with me. It feels like we're on different levels. I've suggested counseling. He said he will think about it. Now we're just civil to each other, but we don't talk much, and we haven't been intimate since I first brought up going back to work. I love him, and I miss him. I don't want it to end, but the ball is in his court now. My mum is very angry with me. We haven't spoken for a week. I don't know what to do with that either. A user says to OP after this, I don't think it's fair of him to force the situation on you. You're a full person, not just a wife or mother. You deserve to live your life in a way that is best for yourself too. Women are all too often expected to destroy themselves entirely for motherhood in a way men are not, and that is simply unfair. Working gives you independence, which your husband seems threatened by, and adult socialization, which really is a need for mental health. Humans are social creatures and are not meant to be alone stuck in a house all day. If your husband can't understand that, then let him be mad. He doesn't get to control your life just because you two had babies. He's acting like you want to go party all day and neglect your responsibilities instead of just being a regular adult doing regular adult shit. Another commenter says, I'm very confused as to why he is latching on to you being a housewife so desperately. He seems almost obsessed with you staying home. As other people are saying, try couples therapy. Opie says he seems to think the happiness I'm feeling now is because I'm not working and not because I'm loving being a mother. He's been very happy too. This is the least sinister explanation, but I think he's changed and wants to make the rules now. He feels he has more power. If we get divorced, no matter who's filing, it will be my fault that my children have to live in two separate and very different households. PBNS says, I'm a grown-ass woman and I want to work. If you want to stay-at-home parent so badly, you quit your damn job and stay at home all day. You don't get to dictate how I live my life. I did not marry you so you could guilt me into giving up my personality, interests, and independence. Staying at home full-time is not for me. The end. I don't need to provide further reasons. If you push against this again, you can find somewhere else to live and someone else to come home to. I'm done with this discussion. And says do not give in. Stand up for yourself and follow through on making him leave if he keeps trying to control you like this. And take half his fucking money. What an ass. So OP comes in with another update and says thank you everyone for the support. I won't be able to make any more updates because you're only allowed one. This is however not a big update, so I thought I could just add it here before the post gets logged. I will not delete this account in case I need more advice or another update in the future that I can post as a new subject. My husband and I talked yesterday for the first time in 2 weeks, and he was the one who initiated the conversation. I saw my chance to try and find out why he's behaving like this, and at the same time, make sure that he knows I'm not backing up. I told him that while I'm enjoying my maternity leave, the thought of it being for the rest of my life suffocated me. I suffer from severe claustrophobia. I don't if it has anything to do with this. I asked him why he's doing this. He knew my job was important to me, so why was he making this impossible request when he knew it would mean the end of us? If you're having second thoughts about our marriage and wanting out, please tell me the truth. He became very upset and accused me of trying to gaslight him. He said his reasons are legit. There's nothing wrong with wanting his wife to be there for her family. And the children won't stop needing me just because they went to school. I started crying. Sorry, I'm a crybaby. And I told him if this is over, he should know it's all on him. He started yelling. No, it was because I'm too stubborn and too self-involved to actually take a second and think about his wishes. I wanted to leave because I couldn't be with him anymore, but he said it would be more convenient if he did. He's moved to our city apartment. I feel lost and hurt. I love him so much, but I don't think continuing this relationship is healthy for either of us. My heart is breaking for my children. I don't know what to do. For now, I will just sit tight and wait for him to send me the divorce papers. Thank you again for the help and advice. It helped a lot. P.S. Mum was here yesterday. We talked a lot and she's finally getting on my side. I knew that when it came to it, she'll be on my side and I'm so grateful. Opie added one more post that said, we're separating. Thank you everyone for the support. My husband and I are separating. This is what he wants. As I suspected, this was more than just me going back to work. He's been feeling resentment towards a lot of things about me. Many of them I can't change, and the rest I don't want to change. It's not his or my fault, we're just not compatible with each other anymore. I still have 14 months with my babies. Afterwards, all children are big enough for shared custody. I'm staying in the big house for now, but after divorce I'm going to move back to the city. I've been talking to my boss about my job. She'll help me find a schedule around having the children, so maybe I will work lunch hours the weeks I have them. My ambition is still to open my own, but maybe a bit further in the future. I still love him. I thought we were inseparable, but when he started resenting the very same things he loved about me, I knew this was hopeless. It sucks big time and hurts like hell, but here we are. And quite frankly, I couldn't see this going any other way quite early on in the story. You know, he got rich, it clearly went to his head, and now thinks he had some sort of power over her. And I think OP did absolutely the right thing in this situation, and I hope she does get her share out of that relationship. But what do you guys make of this situation? Could you see it going any other way? Would you have handled it any way differently? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit from tayyyspeaks, who says, am I the arsehole for not letting my husband attend his sister's wedding? My husband, 31 male, and myself, 28 female, are expecting our first child this May 2025. We found out very early in September 2024. We did not keep this a secret from anyone, and in fact shared the news in person with his family and my family on the day we found out. During this period, his sister, 29 female, was getting to know someone and getting engaged in October 2024. It's sort of an arranged marriage, as she was set up and decided to get engaged only after 3 months of speaking to the guy. Her parents, my in-laws, were happy that she liked him and wanted to quickly move forward. She's been wanting to get married for the past 5 years. After the engagement party in October, there was a brief discussion of when the wedding would be. His sister had mentioned that she wanted to be married by no later than April 2025. After our initial OB visit in September, my husband had mentioned to his parents that I would not be able to travel after 34 weeks as per the doctor. His mother decided to ignore this information and not address it. His sister and mother decided to plan on having the wedding in April 2025. Even though they had not booked anything. His sister's fiance lives in Texas, a 3.5 hours flight away. I briefly mentioned that I would not be able to attend in April as it'd be too close to my due date, but wished them all the best in their planning. February 2025 rolls around and they decided to have the wedding in this coming April 19th of 2025 in Texas. I tell my husband that because I will be almost 37 weeks pregnant, that we would definitely not be able to go. A month prior, during a huge fight we had, his mum had told him that it's okay if I don't go, but that he would have to attend. At the time I was not opposed to it, as I thought it would be fine. 2 weeks ago, we met with my obgyn, and I decided to ask her advice while he was also in the room. I asked her for confirmation that it's not a problem if we were to travel during my 37th week. She looks at us both and says, absolutely not. We both stare at her shocked, and she continues and says, this would be like rolling a dice. I would not recommend it. If something were to happen, I would not be able to slow anything down. He unenthusiastically agrees and says it's messed up that they picked the date knowing we most likely would not be able to attend. It's now almost April, and he just told his mother that we will both for sure not be able to attend. My husband and in-laws have a huge fight, and he explains the situation, so his dad threatens that he wouldn't attend either if he's not at the wedding. I don't budge after he tells me this and calmly state that he simply cannot attend 2 weeks before my due date, as we're both having this baby together. So, am I the arsehole for not letting him attend his sister's wedding? Emily Dreamer says to this one, not the arsehole. Your in-laws really looked at a whole pregnancy timeline and said, nah, let's gamble. Like, did they think the baby would just reschedule to be more convenient for them? Your husband is about to become a dad. His priorities should be with you, not across the country at a wedding when you could literally go into labor any second. His family is acting like this is some wild betrayal is crazy. He's missing one day. You'd be the one missing your partner or possibly giving birth. Huge difference. Another commenter says, not the arsehole. If your husband is not 100% in agreement that he cannot be traveling for a wedding 2 weeks before your due date, He is not ready for parenthood. Parenthood is sacrifice. It doesn't mean sacrificing everything for your child, but it sure does mean for the big moments, like when they're gonna be born. He cannot be hours away at a wedding, likely drinking alcohol as most people do, and expect to still make it if you go into labor. This is his family's fault. They knew your likely due period before they picked a date. If they don't like it, that is their problem, not yours. Hot Fox asks, info, why does your husband not being there make the father of the bride refuse to attend? I don't understand that. Late Cupcake says, in my opinion, it's just a guilt trip to add extra pressure to him going to the wedding. Now it won't just be him going, it will also be his fault his dad didn't go, which is obviously not the case. It's a very thinly veiled manipulation tactic that I hope Opie's husband doesn't cave to. And like all the comments are saying in this one, they chose that date knowing that you both likely won't be able to attend. They took that gamble, that's on them. None of this is your fault in any way, shape or form. And trying to put myself in their shoes and you're telling me this, I'll be like, yeah, absolutely. You need to stay home and look after yourself, and hubby needs to stay with you. I wouldn't be throwing a tantrum about it because it's just fucking wild, isn't it? But holy moly, what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.